Hello and welcome back. We'll talk a little bit more about our IPP and annual report here. In this episode, we're going to break down a little bit beyond the data entry and really talk about the IPP itself and then some of the reports that you can pull out. So in our last video, we went over all the things here, how to customize the drop downs, how to fill this thing out, some best practices on that. As a reminder, right, IPP should be an iterative teamwork process, and so hopefully you as the emergency manager or the filler-outer of this information will go through and take care of as much kind of background and detail as possible, and then through facilitating a conversation, you can work on populating some of these other items with your group, right? So maybe you got a training committee or your LEPC or first responder chiefs meeting, whatever it might be. You can come in here and kind of populate these, or you can do kind of a facilitated IPPW process where you might encourage folks to bring in their laptops to the thing, break it up by groups, and then have folks kind of go through and go, hey, team one, you're going to work on January, team two, you'll work on February. Or just have folks come in and start taking a crack at drop downs, and if you need to deconflict, and have a little flag on the table or something where we have those conversations and go, boy, yeah, we'd like to do this course, but it's already, January's already full. Can you move yours to February and kind of do the horse trade conversation? So really that IPPW process, this shouldn't be written in a vacuum. You should have some input into here, whether you do single user or, again, multi-user. We can click share. You can invite your partners in here via email. Just type their emails in, hit go, they get a link, they come in, and then they're working right off the same thing. So in your IPP, you can have folks doing some live data entry on this stuff. That all said, let's take a look at what comes out. So we, in our last one, right, if you recall, we had some placeholder information. You changed some stuff, super cool IPP. We updated some other logos. Certainly, you would just do that like we showed in the last video. But you can see it's pulling in all your data here. You can do a quick little cursory thing to make sure your stuff's showing. Sometimes it kind of looks goofy, but if you scroll down past it and scroll back up, it should sort of justify the boxes. You shouldn't have to make any changes on this page. And so we'll just take a quick look, right? It's kind of reading, everything kind of flowed over, right? So if we're ready to print this, Control P to bring up our print window. We can make sure that it's looking just the way we want it to. If we need to change anything in printing, we can. You shouldn't have to. I think everything's pretty well set to the right size, so it comes out kind of organized in that organized fashion. And then you just follow through with printing that, right? Selecting which printer we're sending it to PDF and going from there. Again, my computer's having some weird print issues, so we'll just open up a new version for the sake of the video here real quick. But you can see the print menu brings that up, and then we just send it off to the printer or to PDF, and then can email it and so forth. Some of the other reports that you guys saw in that first video, same idea, cost estimates, where it just aggregates and summarizes out of the data entry. And so you may come here and look and go, oh, wow, our budget's way over. Let's go look at, wow, February. We need to really look at February. That's too much. And go back and either adjust the budget up or down, move it from month to month, balance it. But this report does show up in your IPP, but it's kind of called out specifically only here if you need that. Same with the hours investment. You can see it's pulling it by year. It's pulling those summaries out by month if you need, or by quarter, how we break that down. Our calendar thing, similar report, right? We can hit Control P, bring up the thing, PDF. You shouldn't have to make any changes on here. It pulls all the information in. And so you get a sense here, both in terms of what's kind of high level summarized with the calendar, so organizing activities will show up when we're going to be working on them. And then if you get down here, it pulls in, again, those core capabilities that you're working on there. The map we'll come back and look at. This is obviously not your map. We'll look at that in a separate video, how to work with Google My Maps to generate an actual map that can go there. So then we just, again, insert image in cells, and we'll select that map, and you can then pull it in as an image, right? And again, we'll show that. As a reminder, those little kind of yellow orangish triangles, they drop down either instructions or helpful hints in this case, right? it'll take you back to the website where you can look at a Google My Maps tutorial video on how you would pull data up to make this thing work. Our infographic report, again, it's a printable. None of this should have to be monkeyed with. Everything should be sort of sized just right, and it pulls all the data automatically. So our 11 by 17, again, this can print PDF and you can email it out to partners or actually print it. You can see here again, it gives you a little hint of what you might use this for. As you kind of keep scrolling across, we've got that briefing, the PowerPoint version. When you, again, print this to PDF, what you can do with it is then open it in Adobe, go to View, Full Screen, and now you're able to click through mouse, clicker, any of the PowerPoint kind of optionality to have a cool little PowerPoint. And it's got all the stuff that you put in there on all the other places, brings it in, and so it can be a kind of on the screen to your placemat or your actual plan documents with telling the story or your forecast, depending on how you did that. We'll come back to the maps, like I said, in another video. We include a few of these things that are yellow that are, again, totally optional that might be useful. You can load up your people across here. It'll hold whatever that is, probably 25, 30 of them. And then again, you can have here on the little breakdown what classes and then the drop downs. Is it required? Is it suggested? So you can kind of give a training plan to some of your newer employees and then have you completed it or not, right? Or NA. And so it's got all sorts of stuff on here. IPAWS, FEMA EOC classes, we can put specifics in there and those drop downs we customized. Assorted classes, right, that might be useful, kind of your HR type stuff, right? If you do Red Card, Wildlands, and then again the APS, Texas infrastructure classes, the MEP program, COOP level 1 and 2, the basic, and other academies with FEMA. And then we include a root cause analysis. This is in some other tools, but you can kind of see here if you start out with identifying the problem and then starting with those 5 whys. Typically, by the time you get down to the 5th why, you've sort of sussed out what the problem might be. Why did this happen? Okay, well, asking that question, why did that occur? Eventually, probably within 5, you come out to the root cause of why whatever it was failed. We can kind of type that up, give it a couple of solutions, just a little brainstormer jogger if you need it. So that kind of wraps up what documents we can print out. We'll come back and talk in the other version here with the multi-view next time, where again we can roll up very similar to what we did here. It's just going to take the information that you put in, so your data entry tab on the other one, and then we can see here in our roll-ups what we're looking at, and we'll just scroll down here a little bit. As you get down a little further past those same generics that we used in the last one, we start to see some of those rolled up kind of documents as we go on just a little bit here. You're starting to see some of the summaries that we're pulling up out of what's going on. And so, for example, here, let's see our infographic reports, right? They start to take a bigger look at some other stuff. Anyhow, we'll talk about this in another video. But suffice it to say, all of the functionality for printing works the same in both documents, right? Control P brings them up. I can either save it as send it to PDF, or send it right to my printer, or change my paper size, or whatever the case may be. So with that said, we'll look forward to joining you next time on the multi-jurisdiction viewer and how we roll up data if we're trying to compile that in another video. As always, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye.